I'm Jason Sani. I'm a nutritionist and trainer, and I've been working in the fitness industry for more than 10 years. And now it's your turn to benefit from all that experience. This series of routines will kick your body's own natural testosterone production into high gear. Let's get started. What's up, guys? Power leg workout A. This is our ultimate bang for the buck workout. This is definitely the workout that you do not want to skip. We're talking about leg day here. So what we're going to be focusing on is intensity and quality in our choice of exercises. So we want to be as efficient as possible. That's why we're going to be focusing on compound exercises such as the squat and the deadlift. They're going to give us a lot of bang for the buck. We're going to be picking a rep range around the 6 to 8 rep range, and that's going to be what is going to be responsible for stimulating our nervous system and creating that anabolic environment where we're going to have that higher testosterone reaction. With this, keep in mind you're trying to find a weight around the 6 to 8 rep range. If after 6 to 8 reps you rack this up and you feel like you still got more in the tank, that's a sign that you need to put more weight on and find a more challenging weight that's going to put your body under that stress load that's going to allow you to adapt and grow stronger. Keep in mind, we're only doing this workout once a week, so you want to find as much intensity and bring as much as you can in this to be able to adapt and get stronger. So again, focusing on those compound exercises, we're not as worried as the isolation exercises. Let's pick the big power movements and let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get started activating the muscles that we'll be using today. So we're going to do a dynamic warm-up, mimicking those muscles to get them responding. So the stretching that we'll be doing will come through the movement actively as long as form is done proper. So what we're going to start out with is 10 body weight squats, feeling that movement, going all the way through, pressing through the heels. Treat these just like you got weight on your back. Next, we're going to go into world's greatest stretch. So this stretch is meant to fire up your core, your lower back, your shoulders, hamstrings, getting everything to fire. You want to make sure that you're planting that heel, pulling through, activating the hamstrings and the glutes, feeling everything. You got the push up in between to switch places. You're going to go 5 of those each side. After that movement, you're going to go into lunges. We're going to go 5 lunges each side in place, just step back. You want to lengthen that hip flexor, staying upright in the chest position. Again, really activating the hamstrings and the glutes all the way through the movement. After you do 5 of those each side, we're going to go into squat jumps, load it up nice and slow, pressing through the heel, 5 jumps, and we're going to repeat all of those 2 total rounds. So we've got 2 rounds of that dynamic warm-up, and we're ready to get into our first working set. Now we're talking about the squat. This is your moneymaker right here. This exercise, when done properly, is responsible for creating more of that testosterone and anabolic environment more than any other exercise that you can do. Deadlift probably coming to a close second here, but that's why it's so important to have perfect form and make sure that you're using a weight that is challenging. So again, form is everything here. You want to make sure that you have somebody look over your form if you don't feel confident and make sure you're going through that movement properly. So let's get started with the squat. All right, guys, going into the squat, again, remember, we're picking a weight that is going to be challenging. We're going for that 5 rep range that we can get 5 good quality repetitions in for a total of 5 rounds. So what we want to do is we want to approach the bar and we want to keep it at shoulder level right above our trapezius. And we want to take a step out forward, keeping chest upright. We're going to have a neutral spine. Eyes are straight forward. And you want to lower the bar slowly in control, thinking good posture all the way down. The bar should be aligned with where your heels are. So think of center of gravity going down. Lower the weight in control, and we want to try to get our backside to drop down, our hip crease right under our knees or below parallel. And then we're going to pause for a brief second and then drive through the heels, power all the way forward, making sure that the knees are slightly outside shoulder width. And then we're going to come up, close the hips, finish the rep, and we're going to repeat. Now we're into the deadlift right here. Again, one of the most important exercises that we can do. Form is everything here. This can be one of the best exercises for you, but it also can be one of the worst exercises if it is abused. So what we want to do is walk up to the bar, approach it, shins at the bar, and what we want to do is reach down, pick the bar up. We're going to have a flat, neutral, think of a neutral spine as we're going down, grabbing the bar right outside the legs, removing any sort of slack as we're about to stand up and pull the bar. And we want to drive through the heels, keep the traps, shoulders all tight and engaged. And then as we stand up, pressing through the heels, and then slowly bringing the hips forward and closing the hips up at the top. Again, this is one of those exercises that you really want somebody to examine and look at your form. Make sure that you're driving through your whole posterior chain. Starts in the heels, goes through calves, hamstrings, glutes, all the way up to that lower back. One thing to be sure about is as you grab the bar, you want your elbows to be locked and there's no momentum. So as you bend to create force to drive your feet against the ground, think of it as you're doing a leg press. Your arms should be completely locked out. You don't want any sort of slack. As you stand up and press forward, everything is locked out. Drive and push through those heels. On the homeward stretch right here, got a powerful superset. It's gonna take some energy and focus. So we got 2 exercises. We're gonna go back to back for 3 rounds, 8 repetitions on each leg. We're gonna go into lunges and we're gonna step backwards, 8 repetitions each. So we'll alternate right leg back, left leg back. We're immediately gonna superset that right into the next set, which is gonna be step ups. So what you need to do here is find a platform or a bench, something that's gonna be challenging, and you're gonna step up onto the bench, plant the heel, and I want you to drive all the force through the heel, lock that leg out at the top, come back down. 8 repetitions each. Then you got about a minute rest, and we're gonna repeat for 3 rounds. All right, let's get it. All right, by now you should be totally smoked, but I'm gonna ask to dig in a little bit deeper, and we got our last finisher. So what we wanna do is 10, 15-second burst to finish you out. So we got a couple options for you. Ideally, let's pick a stationary bike, and what I want you to do is pick an intensity that's semi-challenging that you can go all out for 15 seconds. Give yourself 30 to 45-second rest, and we wanna complete 10 rounds. So you got the stationary bike as an option. If that's not available, we can do this with some lunge jumps. So think a plyometric lunge. Again, 15 seconds all out. You can modify it by having something that holds you upright to spot you a bit. But we're going 15 seconds, everything you got, 10 rounds. Give yourself that burst, finish it off. You know you're almost done. We've been in here killing it. 10 more minutes of that intensity. Have somebody get a wheelchair ready for you, because leg day is done.